Yo, what's up, guys? This is another episode of PBnJ. We're here with our 2017 Comic-Con recap. I'm here with Jesse and Brian. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? So this week I'm at an undisclosed location. So I told you guys about it, but I'm probably not going to really share where I'm at. But I guess I will drop a little hint on my location.
Wait, do you not want to disclose where you're at because you expect all your big fans to come to your hotel room, and because you're so tired you won't be able to fend them off?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to have like a bunch of people waiting in the lobby, waiting for me to come down, and I have to sneak out the back door and stuff. So, yeah.
And you're on work business, so you don't have time to mess with that stuff.
Right.
Comic-Con ended on Sunday. I'm still tired. I went yesterday on Monday. I rested the whole day. Actually, I tried to go to the gym when I got back. I wanted to get a good workout, like stretch and stuff. And I ran out of gas like halfway through my workout. I had to come back home. And then today I went back to the office, and about 3 o'clock I started crashing. So it's been 2 days and still not recovered.
See, so it shows that we're either getting older or these things are just taking a toll on us, like, because of like the amount of time like you have to dedicate now to to do all the things you want to do. So I think that has to do with it as well.
Yeah, and it's just so much walking. Like you don't realize it throughout the day, but you're walking from the hotel to the convention center, to one side of the convention center, to the other side of the convention center, which I think is 300 yards. And then behind the convention center, going upstairs, downstairs, going to a hotel, another hotel for another event. And then going, at the end of the day, you're walking back to your hotel, doing something after. Like you don't realize it when you're doing it, but that adds up. So I was actually joking with my cousin Rick on Sunday. My feet were like hurting really, really bad. And I didn't want to say nothing. I was like, oh, man, I'm going to sound like a bitch. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to keep going. And he started telling me that he was trying to speed up when he was walking to get around somebody, and he couldn't. He was just at a good stroll, and he's like, this is it for me. I'm stuck in third gear. That's as far as I go. So we got back to the room.
The other thing this year was very humid.
It was.
This is much more humid. Even the people that, we have friends on there, they're like, oh, this is a humid summer. So I think that's what killed us more, the humidity with all the walking.
Yeah, last year was hotter, but not as humid. And this year was the opposite. It was only in the 70s, but it was really humid. And, just walking at a leisurely stroll, like you would start sweating and stuff. So we'll see, maybe after another good night's sleep today, maybe I'll feel better tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'm guessing, since this podcast for today is about Comic-Con, maybe you guys can tell us about it, since I was not there. I just saw the pictures on our Instagram page. Yeah, you can let me know day by day, I guess, like what you guys did.
Yeah. Well, we'll start off with Saturday, since that's the big event of our weekend. Well, actually, I guess you can call it a non-event, right? Since we didn't get into Hall H.
Epic fail.
Man, that one.
Hashtag that.
Yeah, I've never missed a Hall H on Saturday ever. This was the first time. Not completely our fault. Yeah, so that one was a gut punch.
Man, if I were there, like that wouldn't have happened. Like I wouldn't have allowed it to happen.
That was the first thing we said. We're like, man, Brian would have lined up since freaking Monday.
Yeah, like if I would scout out the line, and if I see a line starting like at 2 p.m., I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna jump in line right now.
That's definitely that's what we needed. Normally we're pretty good at
that might not have worked this year the way things happened. Who actually had wristbands, and they didn't even make it until like maybe the second or third hour.
Yeah, but they were towards the end of the wristband line, though, right?
Yeah, it was the guys in the D section.
Like at least be in the middle part of it, middle of the pack, so it kind of increases the odds of getting it, not being the tail end of it.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll start off. I'll start from the beginning. This is a long and sad story.
So I'll get a tissue box for the tears.
No, not for you, for us.
Okay.
Yeah, you're probably just thinking like, oh, you guys are idiots. You didn't get in line early enough. Friday, we always go and check where the line is at, kind of gauge when we should jump in. And normally our landmark, I guess to call it, is when the line reaches the Embarcadero Island behind Joe's Crab Shack. Once the line gets there, that's when we jump in. General rule is that if we're on the island, you're good. Anything after that, once you get off the island, you start getting on the marina, then you're asking for trouble. So this year we go to check, and freaking History Channel rented out the island for Vikings, and they had a ceremony on Friday night where they put out a Viking funeral for Ragnar, and they had the Viking boat out there, and they pushed it out to sea, and then they shot an arrow and set it on fire, which was actually really cool. But they rented out the entire island, and so the line couldn't put us there. They couldn't put us on the island. So when me and Jesse went and looked, we're like, hey, where the heck's the line at? It just kind of disappeared, right, Jesse? We were looking, and we couldn't tell where it went.
We couldn't tell where the end. Yeah, we couldn't tell where the end was.
So then we're like, I think we're okay. So we go, we check out our panel. And this is like early. This is early on Friday. This is like noon. So this is way early. We check out a panel we want to see, and then my cousin Rick texts me, and he's like, hey, this line is stretching way down past the marina. And so what they did was, instead of having the line go back to the island, they just went straight down the marina. So it just went super long because it wasn't condensed at all. And we had no idea how to gauge that. We had no clue. It was just one long line down the marina. So
wrap back to the other end of the convention center then, like where you pick up your badge, but on the backside.
On the backside, yeah, I was up against the water. And normally that's where it kind of dies out, kind of by when it guys starts getting towards like Seaport Village. On a normal line with when we can use the island, that's where the line starts to die out right there. Like if you're that far, forget it, you're not getting in. But because of not having to be able to use the island, it went way past that. So my cousin Rick went and got in line about 2:00, and he was over on another island I didn't even know existed down that way. It was so far. And we had heard rumors that it actually went down to the Midway where the naval ships are at. That's how far it went. And so he gets in line at 2:00. We jump in, we meet him there, and then we hang out there for the rest of the night, waiting for the badges to come out. And so at 9:00, they hand out the badges, and the badges run out way, way ahead of us. So we weren't even close. And we were like, we're all frustrated because we were like, man, we can't use our normal technique to find out where the line was, right? We got screwed over by History Channel. And we were like so far out there, we didn't even know. We had no clue where we were at or how close we were. They hand out the badges and they tell everyone, that's it, we're done, no more badges. So what we do is we wait because everyone freaks out. They, I didn't get a badge. They start yelling at security and stuff, and then they book it. What they don't know is that the convention center, they don't hand out wristbands for the entire room. They only handed out. I actually went up and I asked the guy, how many badges do you hand out? He said a little under 6,000 badges. Cool. That means there's a 500 badge, at least 500 seats of open space, right? So many people leave that we shoot all the way up. We're closest, really close to the people with badges. Like I took a walk when I came back. I was surprised about how far you guys, Jesse and the rest of our group, had moved up. And I kind of did a quick eyeball count and got to like 300. And the girl next to our group, she did the same thing. She did a quick eyeball count, got to about 300 herself too. So I was like, okay, we're not off. Let's say about 300. We'll add another 50 just as people that I missed. That still puts us within 500, and I think we're good. So we stay there. We stay the night. Jesse didn't. Jesse went back to the room. So we stay out there. The next morning, I think around 10:15. Jesse came back and met us. They start letting people in, and we went right to the chute. No problems. Everyone was going in. We went right immediately to the chute, which, for those of you who don't know, on the lawn next to Hall H, they open up 4 chutes, and so you're in one line, and then you break off into a chute of like how many do you think, Jesse? 200 people in a chute?
At least. Depending on how much they squeeze in and stuff.
Yeah. So you go into 4 chutes, and that way when they let people in, it's like 1 chute go, 2nd chute go, and it's a little more orderly for them. So when you're in a chute, you're right there. Like they let you in, you go right to the hall. So we went right up there, and we were all like, yeah, we're in. Right, Jesse? We were all like, yeah, this is easy. We're close. Like, we're right there. I can see the front line right there.
Yeah, we're not novices. We know where we're at. We're going to get in no matter what.
Yeah. And then if anything, we started saying, okay, if anything, we missed the first panel, the Warner Brothers panel. And there's always a big exodus of people after that panel. So we're like, okay, if anything, we missed the first panel, no big deal. We get in after that. But then we noticed something weird in that when the panel starts at 11 o'clock, there's still people in line with wristbands. And we're like, hey, why aren't they in? They have wristbands. And the wristband says you're guaranteed a spot. especially for the first panel. Especially that's what the whole point of the wristband is. And there was a whole shoot of people with wristbands, and then the next shoot had maybe 50 people with wristbands. So we're all kind of like, hey, why aren't they in the hall? This doesn't make any sense. Warner Brothers panel lets out, bunch of people leave like normal. They let in the shoot with the wristbands, the full shoot, and then they stop it again, and the people with the wristbands, about 50 of them, are still stuck outside. And then that's when like chaos started ensuing. That now no one knows what the hell is going on at that point, huh, Jesse?
Yeah, like they threw us off. Like even some of the other people that were around us that have been doing this for some years have like, what's going on? They're trying to go and check on Twitter, see if they're trying to get information. There's rumors for like conspiracy rumors coming up.
Yeah,
they were talking about counterfeit wristbands. Which when I was telling everybody, it's like, really, if there was going to be counterfeit wristbands, I would have been the first one to find out.
Right.
I would be the one buying or selling these counterfeit wristbands, and there wouldn't have been that many wristbands available for the chaos that ensued. I mean, like you said, there is a whole shoot and a half. That's what, like, well, let's say conservatively 100 wristbands. At least.
There's probably double that, but we're just being conservative.
Exactly. How are you going to get away with making 100 of those wristbands, and then the other thing, sneaking in and cutting in through the end of the line? Because it just would have been too hard.
It didn't make a lot of sense. We're like, I can see 50 counterfeit wristbands, 100 counterfeit wristbands, but up to 500 to 700 possible counterfeit wristbands, I don't buy it. So we're out there stuck. And the security guard, the volunteers, not the security, the volunteers, they don't know what's going on. No one's talking to them. They're just volunteers. They just point us where to go. They're trying to find out stuff because no one's talking to us. And they were getting frustrated because people are yelling at them. It's not their fault. They're getting yelled at. They're trying to give information to people. They're not getting any information. Finally, after a few hours, and I think after probably the second panel is over, we get some information that the room somehow got set to overcapacity. So the room 6,500 people, somehow 6,700 people got in, which left 200 people just standing around on the back wall, on the side. I mean, we didn't see it, obviously, so if someone was in there and could give us a little more details, that'd be great. So because it was at overcapacity, that pretty much killed everyone's chances outside to get in, because it had to go from over just to get to capacity. You have to have so many people leave, and then more people to go under, and then we had a chance to get in. So everything just died right there, including the people with wristbands. What's that?
And the fire marshal was there.
The fire marshal was there. He was doing the counting. Him and his crew were doing the counting personally, and they were just like, no, there's just too many people. And everyone was like, what about these guys with the wristbands? There's like 50 of them out here. And they're like, sorry, we can't let anyone in. Everyone in there has a wristband. There wasn't anybody in there without one. So everyone in there had wristbands, and it was full, and that left the people outside. We were just screwed. At one point, I had heard a cheer from the front of the line, and at the time, I didn't know what it was, but now I do. And it was Eddie Ibrahim, who was the director of a Comic-Con programming. He had gone out there, and he talked to those people, the people with the wristbands, and he told them that he felt terrible about the situation and stuff. And he gave them all free 4-day badges for next year, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty good, I don't want to say booby prize, but consolation. There you go. Consolation prize. Even though they missed out on seeing like a lot of great stuff that day, which is why I think the line was so big. The lineup of programming this Saturday was probably the best I've seen in a while, probably 5 years at least. You had the Warner Brothers panel showing off Justice League, Aquaman, Blade Runner, Ready Player One, and then you had Charlize Theron promoting Atomic Blonde, Stranger Things, Westworld, and Marvel. And that's like ridiculous lineup. So I think that's why the line blew up so big. But having these whatever unaccounted for wristbands just kind of screwed everything. And we didn't get in line early enough, which that's our fault. I'll take that. But we did get in line. We did get a spot to where we should have gotten in. But we got screwed over by these extra wristbands.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that was funny is they were saying one of the volunteers was coming around and says, we doubt it was counterfeit wristbands because of the fact that they're in a special hiding place, and they don't get released. Nobody but the top execs know what they look like. It's like, how hard is it to go ahead and make a wristband? And how, like, the security is not really paying attention to details.
Right. They just look at the color. They see the color, and that's it.
Yeah. And I mean, you got like 100 geeks coming to you at high speed to get into a small room. Are you really? Sir, let me scan your wristband, or anything like that. They're just, I don't want to get in front of this stampede. So there's a lot of things that probably went down wrong, or who knows? Maybe they overprinted. Maybe it was their fault. Maybe it wasn't counterfeited. Maybe they just overprinted wristbands and didn't count them when they were handing them out.
Yeah, it's possible. I read up today that I found a couple articles online, and the Comic-Con Talkback on Sunday where people go and complain.
Yeah.
That was, of course, the big huge topic of that day was the Hall H wristbands and stuff. And what was cool was that the president of Comic-Con was there, and Eddie Ibrahim was there, so the big guns were there. And the fans were like, "Hey, what the hell happened with Hall H?" And the president, I think his name was John Rogers. He called the wristbands. He didn't call them counterfeit. He said unaccounted for. So, yeah. So they're thinking that it was either an overprint or an extra batch from last year that maybe got mixed up or something. But he didn't call them counterfeit. He said it was unaccounted for wristbands, which I find more plausible. I have a feeling that there was an overprinting or something, and maybe someone just grabbed the box and just put it, and didn't think anything of it, and so they thought they handed out 6,000 when they handed out way more, and they didn't realize it. Someone brought up the RFID, that's on the badges, and I guess the president, he said that he wanted to put them on the wristbands this year, and they talked him out of it. His people, they said that it was.
That's a huge expense.
Yeah, it was a huge expense. They said it was going to be more trouble than what it's worth. If you do something like that, it causes more things. When you introduce something new, that brings up new problems. But he said that it's most likely that's going to happen next year. They're just going to put the RFID on the wristbands. That way, they'll know that it won't be counterfeit. If there is a screw up, it's on them.
Okay, so
they already have problems with the badges.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got 3 questions for you guys from this experience. But first one, you kind of answered, like, for the wristbands, like, just in your opinion, both of you guys, like, what are they gonna do? And you mentioned that they might do the RF wristband thing. Like, what do you think? Do you think they also need to go back to the drawing board other than the RF and find another instead of doing wristbands next year?
Yeah, I mean, I hate the wristband system. You guys know that. I've hated it since.
I hate it too. I mean, you should be able to line up like at the end of Friday and then be able to get in the next day. It's a long wait, but at least like you put in the time and you're getting in. Versus like you get a wristband and a bunch of people leave and then they all come back the next day. You don't really know who's who. Like when they come back.
Right. Yeah, like we used to do before, right? We would have a full day on Friday, go see and do everything, get in line at midnight after you're done with the day, and you were good. And it was first come, first serve, and oh well, right? So I see the intentions. They wanted to have a wristband so people who knew, so that people would know when they don't have a shot and they don't waste their time. But once they put in these wristbands, everyone panicked. And instead of lining up at midnight the night before, they were lining up at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And then this year we found out that they were lining up Thursday night at 1 a.m. is when they started it. Yeah, so they once they finished handing out the wristbands for Friday night so on Thursday night when they handed out the wristbands for Friday, they started up the next day line and people just started jumping in there. So really, if you wanted a band, not if you wanted a wristband, but if you want to be in the front, you had to line up at 1 a.m. Thursday night. And when I was talking to the people in our shoot who were in the very, very front, they were lined up at 8:30 a.m. Friday and didn't get wristbands. So that's what happened with the wristbands. Bringing in these wristbands ruined everything for me. Anyway, it ruined the lineup process. It wasn't perfect, but it was fine the way it was, I think.
And I think that we can police ourselves with cheating too, or I should say cutting, not cheating. I mean, remember we were Odie in that first shoot, and like 2 rows over, somebody got called in for cheating. I mean, cutting.
Yeah, they ripped that guy up.
Wow.
Yeah. They put that guy on blast.
Like, there was this one guy, he was tall, he was a tall Asian guy, and he was just like, get out of the line. Like, he was, like, aggressive, and I was thinking, note to self: I will not cut.
Yeah, yeah. He was just like, get out of the line, get out. And the guy was trying to like plead his case, and he was just like, no, get out. And then everyone behind him started booing. Started, yeah, get the fuck out, get out. And finally he left, and then as he was walking away, everyone was yelling shame, like in Game of Thrones. And I was like, oh man, that's a long walk down. People are just screaming at you.
So I mean, like I said, it would be nice that if the wristband thing would work, but like I said, it causes more headaches. If you're gonna go and want to, if you're a real fan, you're gonna stay there, camp out. You get your space, you should get in. How are they gonna fix it? I don't think they can. There's always gonna be somebody who's gonna be unsatisfied.
Yeah.
The RFID thing is not gonna work. Again, in the morning, it's just gonna make it longer to process people in because, like, it takes forever for us to just get into the building. It's gonna do the same thing with RFID tags on wristbands. And then what happens if it gets wet? Because you have it in your arm, so it's wet. I don't know enough about what they're using. Will that be? Will that still work? Or there's gonna be tags that won't work. That's why they have a table inside of your RFID and your badge doesn't work. They'll send you over there. So what's gonna happen? If all of a sudden your RFID doesn't work, it's gonna be a lot of headache. It's gonna be more expensive. It's gonna raise ticket prices. So I don't see the RFID thing fixing anything. If anything, it's just gonna be more headaches. But what is the option? Is there other than
other than getting rid of it, right?
Yeah.
So what was your other two questions, Brian?
Yeah, so my second one was, so like next year, are you guys going to plan to get in line sooner then? Like, because like, just from my experience at D23 2 weeks ago, I noticed that like I had to get there 4 or 5 hours earlier than like the previous D23. So people are just catching on that if you want to go see something you really want to see, you got to show up really early because like there's going to be a few thousand people that are going to do the same thing. So like, I have a feeling like in 2 or 3 years at Comic-Con, you're going to have to start lining up like Thursday night, like you said, for the first people this year. Like it's just going to get worse and worse. So like, what do you guys plan to do like next year? You're going to keep the same plan where you wait until like the line gets to the marina and then jump in, or kind of like have to like do it earlier?
Plan A is you're getting in line. So
well, if you guys like flight and stuff, then I would consider it. But yeah, I would fit if I'm there.
I think we've learned that we might have to justify that cause.
Yeah, I'm like I think after we were like, hey, so if we split it 3 ways, if we split Brian's plan cost. I know, we know. That's why we're like, man, it's okay. So there's a group of 6 of us. If we all just pitch in $10 or whatever.
Well, not just that. Like we always have enough, like a large group, like a decent size of people. We can just alternate the line,
Yeah. So the real plan, not that one, not to put it all on Brian. We thought, okay, if we really have to get in line at Thursday night at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever, since there is a large group of us, 6 to 8, we'll start doing shifts. So we'll all get there. I think we all get there at Thursday at 1, so everyone around us knows, hey, look, We're all here.
Right.
And because a lot of people, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to only be able to hold the line for 5 people. But per person. So, but we also heard that there were still people who were in line and then like 10 people joining them. And especially like where we were at, we were so far out, there was no security out there. So there's no way to enforce that. So we all get there Thursday, 1 a.m., whatever. Everyone, people in front of us, people in back of us see our group. And then we start rotating. Whoever wants to stay out there Thursday night can stay out there. And then maybe Friday night they stay in the room. During the day, Friday, we can kind of see, I want to see this panel, I want to see that panel. And we can all, kind of plan around that. Kind of like how we kind of did that anyway. Me and Jesse saw our panel. We went and met up with Rick. He wanted to go see Bob's Burgers and Archer, so he left. And then after that was done, he came back, and then we were all there. And then we all have to be there starting at 9 o'clock anyway, because that's when they start handing out the wristbands. So I think that's probably the safest way to go, would be to get in line Thursday night and start rotating out with our group. And again, we'll have 6, maybe 8 people next year. So it's enough people to do that. It'll work.
Yeah, you brought up a good point where it's a good tip for everyone. Like everyone should get in line like as soon as they show up, and have people around them like recognize like each other, so you can help them out too. Like if they need to like walk away, you can vouch for them when they come back.
Exactly.
And they'll do the same for you.
Exactly.
So it's very helpful.
Someone has to go to the bathroom. You can say, no, yeah, he was here. I saw him.
Yeah.
That actually brings up a funny point. When we were at the Westworld in the hotel, it was only 100 people. The line wasn't that big, or well, maybe a little bit more than 100 people. But there was like 6 people in front of us, a group of 6, and then 2 of them left. When they came back, they had gone upstairs to get dressed and cosplay. Everybody was mad because we weren't going to be able to get in, so the girls behind us thought that the girls that had just come back were different girls.
Yeah.
And they were like, they weren't here. And they went up to them and said, hey, I didn't see you in line, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I went upstairs to get dressed. It was funny because they changed into wigs.
Yeah, they looked completely different.
Yeah, and at first it took me a second. I'm like, when I heard her say that, I was like, oh, no, that's definitely that girl that was in front of us. So I would have vouched for them, but I kind of wanted to see a girl fight first. But no, you're right, though. I think I agree with you. And I think our group is kind of really cool about that, where we talk to our neighbors every so often. Like if we see that someone's complaining about, oh man, Thursday we have water, we'll give them we'll give them water or something. You sometimes just chat with your neighbors, so that way it's just easier. Plus, you pass the time on.
Yeah, that really helps pass the time. So what? Do you have one more question, Brian?
Yeah, I got one more. So how does this rank in terms of like Hall H debacles? Like a few years ago there was that Twilight one, right? So where do you rank this one compared to like the Twilight thing and any other thing that happened with Hall H?
With the stabbing?
Yeah, I was about to say the stabbing was pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, the stabbing in the eye was pretty up there. This one is bad because you had people with wristbands didn't get in. Like that's the whole point of getting the wristbands, is it guarantees you a spot, and to have people with wristbands not get in is pretty ridiculous. And then the fact that they somehow let in 200 more people than is allowed by the fire marshal who was there, that's pretty ridiculous. So this is hard to top. The Twilight thing was pretty bad because so many Twilight fans had bought so many tickets that when the panel ended Friday, it was the first panel on Friday that ended like at noon. The rest of the panels that day were empty because no one else could get in. I would say this one's probably the top because they had put in a system to make it better and then they jacked it up. Yeah, and what made it worse for us was that we got some false hope at the end of the day. They came out and they told us that right before the Marvel panel, a bunch of people, everyone left. Like pretty much the whole line booked it after that. And there was not that many of us. And they came out and said that the fire marshal was going to do another count people in the hall. And he kind of wanted us to get in because we've been out there so long. And they told us, wait 30 minutes, you have a chance. And then we did it. So it was like, yes. Oh.
Yeah, by then it's like 6:30 already, right?
Yeah, it was 6:30.
All day.
Yeah.
Now that you guys didn't get in at all.
Yeah, then he was like, maybe. No, just kidding. Go home.
That sucks.
Yeah. So afterwards we went, we got dinner at, actually first we went and hit up a couple panels just to get into any panel for the day. So it wasn't a total loss. And we went to the Magic the Gathering panel, and right after that was Sonic the Hedgehog, the new Sonic Mania game. And it was just
sucks.
Yeah.
We went because one of the guys really wanted to see it. He's a big Sonic fan, and I've liked Sonic too. Like just from Sonic 1, Sonic 2. After that, I didn't play many games after that with Sonic. But he's a lovable character, like Mario, whatever. He's iconic. Man, that whole panel was boring, and I thought they were gonna give some swag, and then even the gameplay is like, really, this is what's going.
Yeah, looked like
change the name.
Yeah, it looked like the old games, right?
Yeah. I was like, are you going to be playing this on what? Not the PS4 and the Xbox,
Yeah.
Like, are they bringing back, like an old Genesis? Or?
Yeah, and the only reason, one of our group really wanted to see it, and those panels were really late. They started like at 6:37 for whatever reason, so they were like the last panels of the day. So we just jumped in there just to get any type of panels in, and then we went and got steak dinners to drown our sorrows. Yeah, I got a couple beers. And then we went back to the room and had a couple more beers. And I think Rick started making hard drinks. And we were just like,
one of those nights.
just one of those nights. Just give me a drink and turn on the TV. I don't care what's on. So that was Saturday, epic fail Saturday. But other than that, I had a great time.
I want to say that this is the worst Comic-Con ever. But I haven't done it for so many years, so maybe I shouldn't say that. You know, maybe we should do a few more years of this. It might get worse.
Yeah,
it just sucks. This year it seems like the machine just broke down.
Yeah.
You know, and in different parts. And we were joking around because we had a new member in our group, and we kept on saying what's different this year, and the only common denominator was him.
Yeah.
So
we're like, we're doing everything right. What is? Oh, I see what it is. Rather, I see who it is.
Yeah, and they try to get into Bob's Burger too, and they didn't get in. So
yeah,
epic failures. Oh, not only that. This is kind of off Comic-Con, but our air conditioner didn't work for the first 2 nights.
Yeah, our air conditioner broke.
Our air conditioner broke. At first, the first night we thought, like, why is it so hot in here? I had to call the second day, and then they had to move us the third day.
Yeah,
because they're like, oh, we don't know what it is, and we thought you were gonna check out. So they weren't gonna do shit. So they had to move us finally after. After I bitched about it, I'm like, what the fuck? There's 6 guys in here. Come on, you don't want 6 sweaty guys in here.
Yeah,
you know we're gonna crazy.
Yeah, we called them we called them Thursday, right? And we're like, hey, it's not working. Oh, we'll get someone in there to look at it in the morning, and then in the morning no one came. Oh, we thought you guys were leaving. Like, what the hell? Get us a new room.
And yeah, exactly. Then they put us in a smaller room.
Yeah. And it was a room for handicap. So everything was a little different. It was a little smaller. The way the room was set up was a little off, and we were just like, whatever, the AC works, that's fine.
Yeah. So we'll see if he comes back again next year.
I mean, it started off fine. Wednesday we went to preview night like we always do. Checked out the area. We had good dinner like we always do in the same spot at the Rockin' Baja. Everything was going great, and then I really wanted to do the Westworld offsite because I had VR and it was supposed to be this greatest thing ever. So, and Saul was at the Hilton, so we went to the Hilton and just to see where it was. And then the guy was there, and we asked about it, and their Hilton wasn't allowing any lines to form at all. You couldn't form lines for it. So he was like, you have to come back tomorrow at 9. That's when we'll start letting people in, and they're only allowing 100 people. That's it. Out of the 130,000 people at Comic-Con, they were only letting in 100 people. It's super exclusive. So we're like, oh shit, we gotta get here early tomorrow. So we got up at 5, and me, Jesse, and another guy in our group, we got there at 6. This was the omen, right, Jesse? I think this was the omen right here. We got in line. We're within the 100, no problem. We're probably sitting around 70 people. Started lining up about 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we're good. We're good. We're in the 100. And then when the Westworld, when the people actually showed up and they kind of did crunch the numbers, they were like, ooh, we're only allowing 6 people per half hour. This isn't going to work.
Why is it so slow? Is it because of the VR thing or what?
It's the VR, and it's supposed to be, I didn't look it up, but it's supposed to be the sickest, most detailed, like you were on set. And they were going to have hosts talk to you. They were going to figure out if you were going to take a survey and see if you were white hat or black hat. And then whatever one you got, your experience was going to be different. Like, it was supposed to be, like, the greatest thing ever.
I wanted to hit up the saloon.
Yeah, you were going to go to the saloon with the girls. It was supposed to be just great. And then, but I think when they saw the people there, and then they crunched the numbers, and I don't know how many, I still don't know how many hours they were open. But, if it's 6 per half hour, that's 12 an hour. And if you're only doing 6 hours, that's 72 people. And there's 100 people in line. And then they didn't cap the line either. So it ended up being closer to 200 people in line. So once they got there, they had to tell everyone, "Oh man, sorry, but you guys on this side of the room are not getting in at all." We were, like I said, around 70, and then they started doing the processes, and then you didn't just go in either. You didn't just get they didn't take your info and just let you in the room. They gave you an appointment time, so you got in. So okay, come back at noon, and you and a group of 6 would go back at noon. So then they went through the process, and then once they ran out of spots, they had a standby section. And then they were like, yeah, there's going to be a standby of only 2 people per session. And so if you were in standby, like you're not getting in. Like there's no way people are just not showing up for that. If you got up at 5 a.m. to get in line, you're coming back. So we tried it. I knew that was gonna be a shot in the dark because there's only 100 people, but that was we were kind of bummed out about that. And I think that was the omen for the rest of the weekend because it was the very first thing we did on Thursday, and it was like, oh man, epic fail already.
That was a very long day too because we had been there 5 a.m. and then we were at the convention center all the way to the night.
Yeah, we went and saw. I mean, that was a good thing about Thursday. We went and saw a bunch of cool panels. What did we go see? Was Robert Kirkman? Yeah, we saw Robert Kirkman, which is always a great panel. Even if you don't watch Walking Dead or read Walking Dead or Invincible or because just go to those panels because he's really funny and he's kind of a jerk. He's kind of like Kevin Smith in that way. He's just super funny. You'll have a good time. So we saw him. We saw a panel for Rocko's Modern Life. One of our group was a big fan of Rocko's Modern Life when he was a kid. So they're bringing that back. They're bringing the movie back, and that was actually pretty funny. Justice League Adventure, a new cartoon. Is that cartoon on online only?
No, it's I want to say it's Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network, yeah. It's a cartoon. The episodes are only about 10 minutes each, but they're really good and they're really funny. They show 2 full episodes, and I'd never seen it before, and I was like, man, I have to look this up. This is really good. So we saw a panel for that. Later on, we saw The Inhumans, the new Marvel TV series in Ballroom 20.
How was it?
Still, I'm not sold on it.
Yeah,
still not sold on it. Some parts look cool, and other parts look dumb. So they showed just a little bit. It's like I need to see more. I need to see more to kind of gauge it, and I can't because they're only showing real small clips, and then like some of it's cool, like oh that's cool, and the other one's like oh that looks really like they had a fight scene that looked really hokey, and then they showed.
It will look pretty.
What's that?
It will look pretty.
Yeah, it'll look great. It'll film on IMAX in Hawaii, so it'll look really good on TV. But if the show's gonna be good, I still can't tell. Was that it for Thursday? Was that the last panel? Did we see anything else?
That was the last panel for that day.
Yeah, and I think we just went and got something to eat, and then we were so exhausted from being up since 5, and we were done for the day. We went back to the room, and
it was pretty funny because we all went back around the same time, and everyone fell asleep. Like I was the first one. I was tired, super tired.
Yeah.
And so I crashed. Woke up in the middle of the night. Everyone had crashed, and it was like already 9:30.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty early, and everyone had crashed. Everyone had done their own things, and was crashed that first day.
Yeah, I think.
I really think it was like humidity. I mean, I think it just. And plus the air conditioning in there, you know.
Yeah, at that point it was. Yeah, at that point. Well, yeah, we already called by that point. We already called and complained. They brought up a fan, which helped a little, but not a lot. Yeah, I think. Huh?
It didn't reach where I was at.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was right now. I was right next to it. But it was like I think you fell asleep on the couch right away. Matthew lied down on his air mattress, fell asleep right away, and then I was like, you know what? I guess that I'm done too. Hopped on the cot and I fell asleep too.
No, I said, you know what though? I mean, I know we're going to continue on the other subjects, other panels, but even though we're complaining about some of the stuff, I think that we had good time with each other. Like we hung out, we were chatting. We never had a time where we weren't like, like oh fuck, I want to kill myself.
Yeah,
why here in San Diego?
Yeah. I was talking to Ronnie. He was our new member of our group when I drove home yesterday because I drove him home. I was like, man, I was like, what'd you think about it? And he said he had a great time. He loved it. And I was like, man, I'm so sorry about Saturday, though. Like, really wish we got in there. And he was like, you know what? We were out there all day, but it wasn't a bad time. We were all together.
I had a really good chance to meet him. I know that you've met him a little bit more. You've known him for longer because he's, with your cousin and stuff. But I told him, it was funny because Ricky walked away and it was only me and Ronnie. And they all walked away because it's a test. If there's any awkward silence between us,
yeah.
So you better be able to go ahead and keep up and have a conversation. But he was really cool, and he's a big Archer fan, and so I downloaded the Archer app for him. And I'm not sure if you saw the Archer shirt that he had. And this is really cool, Brian. If you get the Archer app and you either do it on a TV show or any Archer related posters or whatever, if you use the camera mode in the app, there's interactive scenes. There's like scenes from like when you do the shirt. There's one where it shows like he got shot on the shirt.
Yeah, it's like an animation. An animation. You just use animation through the phone.
And there's like about 6 per poster or shirt or whatever. So it's pretty cool. I thought it was very really cool. You know, like they created a really cool app with that.
So is it like a augmented reality or what?
Yeah, yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
that's cool.
it was pretty sweet.
It was a big file too. It was 155 megs for an app. How am I downloading?
Yeah, and then that was Thursday. Friday we went out and we went to the Walking Dead experience. That was really cool.
Yes. Mountain Dew and Walking Dead and AMC, they're really good.
Yeah, and then it was funny because we were all so tired. I mean, I was like, oh, we'll get up at like 7. We'll get down there. We just kept sleeping. And we didn't get down there till like 11. And I was like, oh man, we're gonna miss this thing. But luckily the line was short and you got through it really fast. You went inside the Walking Dead experience and there was the Negan's batting cages where you can you get in there, you can hit some baseballs with Lucille. We didn't want to do that because I was like, do you win a prize or anything? And they're like, no, you just hit some baseballs. And then Jesse was like, can we just take a picture with Lucille? And they're like, yeah. So we just stood out there taking pictures with Lucille. We put them up on the Instagram. They had another photo area with
Daryl, Rick.
Daryl and Rick. There was like statues out there. The Daryl one was really cool. It looked just like him. The Rick one didn't really look like Rick. That one had probably the longest line. And
you saw Michonne too, though, right?
Oh yeah, Michonne. Yeah, Michonne too. Yeah. So you can get in there, and take pictures with them. And then there was people dressed up like zombies walking around, scaring people and stuff. So we got pictures with them. There was a really cool phone charging station where it was like you were in you're in a derelict house or something, and there's just like random chairs and sofas. You can sit down, but they all had you can charge your phone. And then there was a free Mountain Dew. There's a Mountain Dew truck in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got Mountain Dew. So that was cool. That was actually a really cool spot to hang out in for a while. The only problem was that there was no shade in there, so the sun was just hitting us hard. It was like around 11, 12, so the sun was right on us. So we were there for, I don't know, a good 20, 30 minutes. And then it's like, all right, we got to go. We're cooking out here. After that's when we went to the ballroom. That's when we checked out the line. And then we went to see the 100?
Yeah.
We saw the 100, which I don't watch that show. Jesse's seen it. We sat through that panel. And then there was the Legion panel. We sat through that one. And then the Brave New Warriors panel, which is a panel about 5 or 6 actors. Entertainment Weekly puts on that panel, and they just ask them questions about their roles and what they're like, as an actor and stuff. But that one's actually really, really funny too. We talked about it before. The producer for Entertainment Weekly, or she's an editor, I think, actually. She's really funny. She asks a bunch of funny questions to these guys, and they just tell these really, really funny stories about their careers. And then we found out that was the 6th panel. That was the 6th year they'd done that panel. We're like, how do we miss this panel for 4 years?
Why isn't it in Hall H? It's like, how did the girls get a spot in Hall H and these guys didn't?
Yeah. Yeah, it's super funny. And then they had a whole new group from last year. These guys, they came in, they didn't even know each other. Remember? She asked them if they all knew each other, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
You would have never have guessed it. You thought they were all best friends up there. But yeah,
that's the thing too. None of them are comedians.
No.
So they just come naturally. Funny and stuff. They're just. Maybe the guy that was a sheriff from Stranger Things, because
he was. Yeah.
Like he's done other roles.
Yeah, he was funny. And I'm surprised they didn't. They didn't mention that he's going to be Hellboy. For those of you guys that didn't know, the sheriff from Stranger Things was just cast as Hellboy in the new movies, and they didn't bring it up. They just said, "Oh, he's the sheriff from Stranger Things," and that was it. So we sat through that panel, and that's when we went to go in the line and the Hall H, and then all that debacle, and went through Hall H Friday and Saturday. Sunday.
For those who watched our videos, I really need to go ahead and emphasize bring a stadium chair. I didn't bring a stadium chair. I forgot my stadium chair. Let's just say I laid on the ground a lot. And I'm feeling it still.
Yeah, Jesse was hurting, man. He was like, once I get down, I'm not getting up. I'm going to stay right here.
Yeah. Like, we better not move. I will roll over. We were sitting next to a palm, so that was a cool thing. We got shade, but somebody said something about a mouse. Oh my God, there's a mouse. I'm like, whatever. I'm Mexican. I'm not afraid of those things. Yeah. You tell me there's a raccoon, then I'm gonna jump.
It was a little field mouse that ran up a tree. People were freaking out. We were using that tree for shade and stuff, so we're like, oh well, if he's up there, that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Sunday, I went to check out the Netflix experience, which was across the street from the convention center. That was really cool. That one, man, that was a good day. That was a good way to start off the day. I was joking with these guys off air that I restored my faith in Comic-Con again, going to that thing. you went in, and the very first part was the Defenders, the new Netflix show, and they had cutouts of the 4 of them standing there. You could take pictures with them, and I'm pretty sure they were life size, so that was cool. And they had their costumes out there, and we could take pictures. It was kind of hard to take pictures though because of the glare. They were outside, and the sun was hitting right on them, so those pictures didn't turn out too great. And then they had Josie's Bar from Daredevil, and they were handing out water and swag. I got like sunglasses and a pin, a Defender's pin. And then we went inside, and then they were promoting Will Smith's new movie, Bright, which I don't know too much about. I know it's like a fantasy horror movie. It's like a cop, and there's like monsters and stuff. And they had a bunch of stuff in there, characters and stuff, and artwork on the wall. And I didn't know too much about the movie beforehand, so I didn't really get it. But really, it was about Stranger Things. So we got through that as fast as we could. And then we get into the Stranger Things room, and they open it up, and they made the set. They made it look like the Upside Down, where it was real dark in there, and had lights, and they had the bikes from the show that the kids use. You can climb on and take pictures with, and then they had a little shrine to Barb because she went missing. The kids' costumes, the characters' costumes, all up on the wall. You can take pictures with them. Then there was you go a little further, and they recreated the living room for Winona Ryder and her son. You go in there, and you can sit on the couch, and you can take pictures there. They had the actual phone from the show that caught on fire, so you can hold on to it and take pictures. And it was even funny in the first part of it. I'm taking. I don't know if I put it on Instagram, but I'm recording the room, and then the wall was a false wall, and the Demogorgon reached out and touched me on the shoulder, and you could kind of hear me freak out on the video. Like what? I was like, "Oh, what the hell is that?" And I could see it go back in. That was pretty cool. And then they also had VR, but we weren't able to see that because of I guess you had to get a pass. You had to go to the Netflix booth on the show floor and get a pass for that. I didn't know, so we asked for VR, and they told us, yeah, you need a pass. But it was still really the whole thing was probably 30-45 minutes, so it was definitely worth it. I would have told everyone to go. I would have told everyone to go check that one out, because especially if you like those shows on Netflix. So yeah, and then right after that, I went to the Blade Runner experience. Was a little further down, and that's one of the best offsites I've seen ever at Comic-Con. I would say it's the best. It was the best event at Comic-Con this year. But I didn't get into the Westworld one, so I can't compare the two. But this one was freaking amazing. You got in there. First you had to be 21 to do it. So that was already. I was like, oh, what's this? So you get in there. There's a VR, and you're in the spinner, the flying car that's in Blade Runner, and you're chasing another one through the city, and you wreck it and you land and stuff, and your captain's yelling at you the whole time. But what was cool is that you had the VR helmet, the VR glasses, and the headphones, so you're looking around, and it's like you're in there. And then the chair itself was a simulation chair, kind of like Star Tours and stuff. Not as extreme as those ones, but it moved, it tilted, it shook, so it really felt like you were flying that spinner in Blade Runner. And the VR looked really cool. You were in the city, and you had all the neon lights and the billboards flashing and stuff, and like the giant Coke cans, the hologram Coke, and the advertisements and stuff were all over the place. That was a couple minutes. That was really cool. And then you walked past that, and it was like you walked right onto set. And I put these pictures and videos up on Instagram. I mean, it was like you were on set. They had water pouring down, so it looked like it was raining. The ground was all wet and dirty. They had a couple cars out there from the movie that you can climb in and take pictures with and stuff. And then you had actors walking around, like if they were in the movie itself, they're wearing costumes and stuff. And it was kind of like the scene from the first one where Deckard is eating at that Chinese place, and then the streets all around him. It's like kind of ghetto, right? I guess it would be the word to say. And so you walk in there, and there was a Chinese restaurant that was fully functional. You walk up to it, and the chef would just throw you a plate of orange chicken. Not a big plate, a small plate. So you can eat it's like a sample size. So you had some orange chicken, and then you had a wristband with the RFID on it, and you would scan. You would go up to they had vending machines, and you would scan the vending machine, and you would get swag. We got posters. There was a T-shirt and some stickers and some other stuff. And then you can also go to a scanner, and they would scan your face, and it'll see if you're a replicant or not. None of us got it this time around, but a couple guys in our group went and did it Thursday, and one of them tested came out as a replicant, and the actors pulled him aside, and they were like flashing the flashlight in their eyes, and they were like, "Yup, this is a replicant. You're in violation of Sector 5. You need to get out of here." And all the other actors ran up to him and just hassled him the whole time they were there. Like, oh, this scum, scum trying to pass off as human. Don't give him anything. And then when he went to the to get Chinese food. The cook was like, oh yeah, he looks like a replicant here, and he threw the food at him. And was like, get out of my shop before you ruin my business. And they messed with him the whole time until they left. None of us tested this time around, so I didn't get to see it. But then it was good. We walked around, and it was a big set too. And we spent about a good 20, 30 minutes in there. And then you go, there's a bar area when you leave. So you go into the bar, they scan your wristband there, and then they give you a free shot of whiskey, Johnny Walker label, black, blue, and red. You can take a shot from them, and then they gave you udon noodles to eat with it. And then you got some more cool swag. So that was, man, just that by itself was freaking worth it. But just the fact I got to do it right after the Netflix, I was feeling good again. I was like, okay, I don't feel so sad anymore. And then I went around the rest of the day. We went to the convention center, walked the floor, and checked everything out, all the booths and stuff, until it closed. And then it closes at 5 on Sunday. So after 5, I went back to the room, and I was hurting pretty bad. My feet were hurting pretty bad. So took it easy. Jesse, you guys were there, and you guys took off. What time did you guys leave? Like 8 o'clock?
Yeah, it was a little bit around it. Yeah, it was around 8 o'clock. A friend of mine's let us park my car at her place, so she had to pick us up in Pacific Beach and head over there. Once I left her house, we're like, oh, let's get something to eat, and so we went to the Lucha Libre taco shop. Yeah, we were there for about half an hour to 45 minutes, and then we got home I got home at around 11:30. Two other people came with me, and they still had to go home. Went to Barn Park and went to Santa Fe Springs, so they still had another half hour or so. So they probably got home by midnight. And
we forgot to mention that Jesse normally takes Sundays off at Comic-Con.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've really done a Sunday event, and I had work to do. I had to work on a couple of computers. I worked on your computer. I worked on Ronnie's computer. I had to fix some Fire Sticks, which is stupid because I never turned them in. I was supposed to give them to her yesterday or that day, so now I got to mail them. And I mean, I kind of enjoyed the room by myself, which is kind of cool. I had the TV on. I saw Coming to America, and when the guys came back, Beauty and the Beast was playing. I said, "Don't judge me."
Yeah, he was like, and we're like, he's like, "No, don't change it." And we're like, "Oh, yeah, but dude,
don't judge me."
Yeah, we're like, "Can we change it?" No, it's almost over. Like, oh man, yeah, to watch Beauty and the Beast of Beauty and the Beast.
And don't act like you guys didn't like it. I know everybody there liked it.
No, I'm just kidding. That's a classic. That one's a classic. Brian will beat me up if I say it sucks or anything. Right, Brian?
Yeah.
And so I mean, I think the real live action is blasphemy, but because it's all British people. But,
Spider-Man is British.
But it's in English. It's in American English.
I haven't watched the live action movie yet, so I don't know.
Oh, should I drop you under the bus, John? Because you watched it, right?
Yeah. No, I took my mom like a good son. So you want to throw me on the bus for that? Go for it.
I would have bought the tickets. Here you go. You can see Emma Watson.
Yeah. So after you guys left, we went and got some Chinese across the street. That Chinese joint.
Yeah, Ronnie's been talking about it for like.
Yeah, he was like, can we really go there? I've been wanting to go there since Tuesday. So we went and got it. It was actually pretty good. I got the orange chicken. They gave these huge pieces of orange chicken. I've never seen them that big. It was really good. And then afterwards we went to go.
I told you guys about this 3 years ago.
I don't remember. I was probably like, Jesse's a liar. Oh wait, no, he was right.
Yeah. Like 3 years ago when we stayed at the same place before, I was the first one to get there, and I was there like 1 or 2 extra days, and so I got my feel around the place. But they closed the subway early now. It used to be 24 hours. And
yeah.
Because of ghetto people, they close early now.
Yeah. So we went. We got the Chinese. Then we went to go see Dunkirk Sunday night, and then that was it. We called it after that, and that was the end of Comic-Con. Comic-Con for me, 2017.
Yeah, mine was when Sonic was over.
Checked out, and we just went and wrecked the TGI Fridays.
Yes. And me and Ronnie got endless apps.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a steak. I'm getting a steak, damn it.
Yeah, Ronnie's like, what's that? Like, it was like the most wonderful invention ever. He only ate half of the things he ordered anyway. It's like, Jesse, can you eat this? Because this one has this. It's like picky eater.
Yeah. But
no, I think we had fun enjoying
it. It was fun. It was fun. always have a good time. The Saturday was always like the cherry on top. We got to see everything. We were able to this year, and that one hurt. But now we have new strategies for next year, new plan. We vowed afterwards, we're like, well, this will never happen again. Like, we cut our wrist and stuff. So Brian, on the last podcast, I told you not to talk about the Marvel footage. I didn't want to spoil it because I want to see it this week, and I didn't see it. So if you want to get crazy and talk about that footage, go for it. I read up a little bit online, like IGN and stuff had like write-ups and little descriptions, but they're kind of vague. So you saw it firsthand. So if you can run it down for us. And this was the real quick. This was the Avengers Infinity War footage. I think they also showed Black Panther footage, which I don't think you saw.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, which sucks. I heard the footage was so good. I got a standing ovation from the crowd. I haven't seen that since Deadpool a couple years ago, so that bummed me out. And then they showed the new Thor trailer, which is online now, which looks great. And they also talked about Ant-Man and Wasp. Like, not too much because that movie hasn't even started filming. They just announced that Michelle Pfeiffer is going to play Janet Van Dyne. And then I don't know if you heard about that. And
I heard about it, but I don't know her character.
Oh, Janet Van Dyne was the original Wasp. She was actually a founding Avenger in the comics. It was her, Hank Pym, Hulk, Thor, and Iron Man were the 5 original Avengers. So in this one, that's who Michelle Pfeiffer is going to play in this. And then they got into a little bit with Captain Marvel. They revealed that the story is going to take place in the 90s, and it's going to be her. It's going to be her and Nick Fury fighting the Skrulls. So they're going to be bringing the race of the Skrulls into the Marvel universe.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
So you're saying they're bringing Janet. So she's supposed to be the mom?
Yes. Yeah, she's the mom.
Okay, so she's the one that sacrificed herself to destroy the nuclear warhead and everything, and that was why he said that he never wanted his daughter to be in.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know I don't know if she's going to come back or if they're going to show her in flashbacks and stuff.
Will we see her getting beat up?
Beat up?
Yeah, remember? Hank Pym used to beat her up.
Oh, they're not doing that in the movies. That's Disney now, man. They're not doing that.
Michelle Pfeiffer wouldn't stand for that. She's just back and back.
No, dude, she's Catwoman, man. She beat the shit out of him. She can't even die. She gets resurrected by cats.
And all they did was lick her.
Yeah. So fell out of the 10th story, whatever. Cats just saved me. So
they copied that on Gotham. I don't know if you.
Yeah. No, they did. I saw this year. I was like, hey, they're doing the Michelle Pfeiffer origin. She fell off the building and they woke her back up.
Yeah, I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. A little homage.
Yeah. So that was the stuff that. What's up?
I said, okay, well, let's go and have him. I think he should play it out. I say he should make the Hulk voices.
Brian, you have to make up for us missing Hall H.
Yeah, so I read online that 2 things. That they did re-show that same footage at Hall H on Saturday. And the other thing is the video actually leaked out. Someone actually filmed it. So it's on the internet somewhere. Like, they're shutting down the videos as soon as they find it. But Jesse, you can probably find it.
Yeah, that's what I figured. The Comic-Con footage always leaks. Always. It's not like D23 where just nothing gets out because the mouse don't screw around. But it's Comic-Con, there's always leaks. I haven't looked yet, but I know that if I did look, I'll find it. Yeah,
so I'm seeing articles about should Marvel bring stuff to Hall H because this always happens.
Every time it happens.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they should stop making movies. That shit gets leaked up too. That's a stupid rationale.
Yeah, that's true. Entire movies get leaked, and I remember Iron Man was leaked. Remember the whole movie? 2 weeks.
Or Wolverine.
Wolverine too. Yeah. The whole movie got released a couple weeks before it, and it didn't change anything.
Well, that was the non-CGI version, right? Like you saw him on the helicopter. That helicopter scene, he had no claws on him or anything.
Yeah.
Correct.
Same thing with Iron Man. Some of it wasn't done yet.
Okay.
Pirates. I saw Pirates. So, what are you gonna do? Stop releasing movies? Stop releasing movies internationally?
No, it's more about keeping up the hype. I guess they don't want it to lose a little steam by having it out on the internet. So.
Well, if they do good movies, that won't happen.
They do.
Because no, that's what I'm saying. if a trailer or little feature comes out, that's going to excite me more. You know, it's like, oh, this is really good. But if the trailer sucks and it's on them, then I'm gonna be like, oh, like if I see something that's leaked and I don't like it, obviously then that's gonna mean that I'm gonna stop watching it. Like, oh, you know, like Superman. What they were saying is that a lot of bad reviews came out really soon, and so their box office got hit because of that. Well, it's the same thing with this. If you have a good trailer, people are gonna go ahead and create like a big buzz. That's not going to stop the momentum. That's going to, if anything, increase it. It's going to, you know, I mean, that's my opinion. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean,
you know,
they should know going into Comic-Con that it's going to get leaked. There's a high possibility.
They know. But at this point, after this many years, they know it's going to get out. And I think they don't really care because the footage, the quality is always at best decent. You know, it's not like HD quality. It's just someone's camera phone. So they know, and I don't think they care. It's going to make $1 billion anyway. It doesn't matter.
Right.
So, Brian, Brian, lay it on us.
I mentioned last time that, you know, like they're going to show Marvel Studios with the number 10 for the I and the O. And, you know, everyone came out, and then, like, Robert Downey Jr. comes out, and he's like, well, show the clip, you know. So the film, it's like a 5-minute footage. And it starts with a scene where, like, the Guardians are in the Milano, and they're flying through like space garbage, and then this piece of garbage floats onto their windshield, and it's Thor. So the windshield like a bug, and then like Rocket's like, use the wipers, like wipe them off. You know? Yeah, I think that's one thing that people don't really like mention. Like, you know, they don't go into that detail. They just say they find him in space, so they end up bringing him in. And Thor wakes up and he's like, who are you guys? So that's the link between like Guardians and the Avengers. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do the Thor movie, but like at first I thought they were going to, like, he gets knocked into space after fighting the Hulk, but after seeing the new trailer, I don't think that's the case anymore. So there's probably gonna be a big battle where he ends up getting beat up somehow and he gets shot into space because he's still wearing the same outfit in that battle arena.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what order like things take place. So, but you just know that at the end of that scene, he's. I'm guessing the movie ends with him like getting beat up and just gets knocked into space somehow. And then you know, the other time Jesse, we talked about like Spider-Man like not having his spider senses in Homecoming. So like they show Spider-Man in a school bus. And he looks at his arm, and his like arm hair is like sticking up. So that hints that like he has his spider senses in that movie. So that was really cool too.
It probably took him a little time for it to develop or something.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like that.
Or to understand it. It might be that maybe you don't understand it. Maybe we're just feeling some kind of like it's coming into age.
So that means like when he crawls into the room this time, he would notice his friends there, right?
No, because it's not a danger.
Just kidding.
Oh, we gotta go through this again.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just kidding. Just talking shit about Jesse again. And then, so the next scene is like a bunch of like cutscenes, like really quick scenes of like all of the Avengers fighting together. And then you see Spider-Man. He jumps on top of like metal, looks like a wing or something, and he's in the new suit that was shown at the end of Homecoming. That Iron Man like. Tony Stark offers to him.
That Iron Spider looking suit.
Yeah, so he's wearing it.
That's cool.
So that's cool. And then there's a bunch of stuff. So like you see combinations of like Iron Man and Doctor Strange like fighting together against Thor. So it's just a lot of action scenes. And then you see Cap come back with a beard, and Black Widow has like blonde hair. So I don't know what happens there.
Well, they're in hiding, right? So they gotta.
Yeah, I guess. And then, like, they end... So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. That goes on for, like, over a minute. And then the last scene that was really cool was, like... It looks like they're in space, but, like, Thanos, like, he just pulls up, like, a planet, like a moon or something, and then he just throws at the Avengers, like, Dragon Ball style, and he just breaks in small pieces, so it's like a bunch of fireballs flying at him. So that scene looked really cool too. I
read about that and I was like, oh, I want to see that so bad.
Yeah. Like, oh shit! Like, you know, like you. Oh, and there's one other scene before that where like the gauntlet is like placed on a pedestal, and he just like goes in and puts his hand in there and he just grabs it, and so you see like scenes of him like putting it on, and then he's using it to like summon, you know, like I just said, like the planets and all that. So it looks really cool. Like I feel bad for you guys for missing it.
I know.
I'm thinking you guys are gonna find it on the internet and see it, but it's a really cool scene, you know, stuff that they cut. And like I said last time, like they said they're halfway with filming, so yeah, so it's supposed to be out next summer, right?
Yeah, like yeah, it's like I think Black Panther's in February, and so that puts the Avengers at like May or June.
Yeah, it looks really good, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean that's the best part, you know, seeing that crazy footage and then also being in the giant crowd of people. Like you saw it, right? Everyone was going crazy probably, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the best part. Like, and then seeing something like Black Panther, everyone gives it a standing ovation. You know, it's just super exciting to get all into it. Like when we saw Deadpool and everyone got a standing ovation, and then they were chanting "Show it again," and to the point to where they had to show it again. Like that's the best part for me, is that you're in this giant room and everyone's going crazy for the same thing. Yeah, definitely right after this, I'm going to look online and try and find it.
Like even for anyone listening, like look up the video if it's still out there. It's really cool.
And you saw Hulk, right? Hulk was in there?
I don't remember. Like there was a lot of like those quick scenes. So I don't remember. Like, you know, in the new Thor video, like his hair is shorter, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing him with short hair or anything. Like, I didn't catch it, even if they did show it. I missed it.
Yeah, that movie... I mean, the next couple of Marvel movies are going to be... They all look sick. Like, the Thor... Every Thor footage... Every single footage of Thor I see is amazing. And the Black Panther looks really cool. Now I want to see that footage because everyone loved it. Avengers is going to be cool. But just didn't see it on Saturday. And Jesse, weren't you saying your sister was kind of sticking the knife in there and twisting it a little bit? Not on purpose, but...
Yeah, she was like, oh, when did you go... Okay, so she first says, oh, did you see the Justice League? Like, you know, my brother and my sister, since they couldn't go, they were relying on YouTube, social media, whatever. And so they were reading, like, all the big reviews about each panel. And so she's like, did you see the Justice League? It's like, no, we didn't make it to the Hall H. Oh, but you want to go see Stranger Things, right? No, I didn't get in that day. But you went to see then Westworld or Marvel. I didn't go in that day. They were all on that day. And then, because we were expecting to try to get into Arch on Saturday, we didn't do the Friday stuff. So she's like, oh, but you got to see Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, right? No. So she asked me, well, what did you do? I
cried. We stayed in line and cried.
I went to the Walking Dead experience. She walked away.
She's like broke ass side or whatever, and just leaves.
Yeah, it's like that's what you spend a week for.
Nerd.
Yeah, but she enjoyed all the Harry Potter pictures I found, all the cosplayers.
Oh yeah. Harry Potter came up pretty strong this year in the cosplay.
Yeah, she was expecting something to be released this because she says there's a movie or something going on next year. It might be maybe Fantastic Beasts 2.
Yeah, part 2 is coming out.
Yeah, so she was thinking, oh, they're gonna have a Harry Potter panel. It's like, no, they're not. Obviously, because I looked at the schedule, didn't see anything. So
yeah, they'll probably do it again next year. Like last year, we saw it last year. We got the free wand for swag and stuff.
Yeah, the one that she jacked. It was supposed to be for my brother. And you just heard the Nelson, yoink.
Yeah.
The one thing I did want to mention that we didn't mention to our fans is we heard some really bad news about Doctor Doom.
Oh. Yeah, so we were at the Legion panel, and they show the they just showed footage from last season. They haven't started filming season 2. And they're talking to the cast and all that stuff. And it's a good panel. They're talking about how trippy the show is and how weird it is and it's so great and stuff. And at the end of the panel, when they're saying goodbye, the moderator asks Noah Hawley, the showrunner. He's also the showrunner for Fargo. They're like, oh, you have something else working with Fox right now, right? Like something with Fox Studios. And he was like, yeah, I'm working on a little movie right now. And I can only give you 2 words. Dr. Doom. And me and Jesse just looked at each other like, oh my God, no. And the crowd kind of gave a cheer and was like, I don't remember if the crowd was cheering for that or just because the panel was over and everyone was walking off stage. So they were, just being polite. But we both were just like, oh no, another one.
Yeah. What does this mean? Like, is this going to be a Fox movie?
Another Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you, like, are they going to reboot the Doctor character? But I guess they're just going to use the same guy again.
I don't know. Actually, no. He said the actor Toby Kebbell. He said he'd only do it if it was a Marvel movie. So he's out.
They're gonna have to recast another guy then?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So he said he'd only do it if it was Marvel Studios. So he's out. Human Torch, Michael B. Jordan jumped ship. He's in Black Panther now. He's the villain.
Yep.
So yeah, they're gonna have to totally recast and do everything. I don't know if it's a Fantastic Four movie or if it's just a solo Doctor Doom, like his origin and stuff. Which I mean would be cool because we still haven't seen Doctor Doom yet, the right one, the correct one. So this guy is talented. It's a talented guy. I also heard that there's another script being worked on for the Fantastic Four, but it's through it's going to be a kids movie, and it's going to be through the eyes of their children, Franklin and Valeria. They're going to be the main characters, and the Fantastic Four will be in the background. You'll be seeing the adventures of Fantastic Four through the kids' eyes. So there's actually 2 Fantastic Four movies in development right now.
Kind of like when you see the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy, you see the action through Baby Groot.
Yeah.
Baby Groot.
Yeah.
And everything's like happening in the background.
He's just dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be something like that. What bugs me is that as soon as Fox starts production on a movie, it restarts the clock. So now, if they were to say, forget it, or let's say they put the movie out or something. Basically it's 7 years from now. Now that the 7 years kicked off again, so the earliest Marvel can get the rights back is 2024, unless something happens with Fox like they did with Sony, which Kevin Feige shot down and said that's never going to happen, or if they just give up and just give the rights back like Sony did with Ghost Rider or Lionsgate did with Punisher. But that totally bummed us out. We both just went, oh god. Megan just groaned. If you couldn't see in the back, you probably heard us.
Yeah, and we weren't even sitting right next to each other. My buddy was Matthew was in between us, and we just kind of both leaned in and looked at each other like we were both thinking the same thing. It's like, holy shit! I would have moved if I wasn't so far back.
Yeah.
I was just like, what?
Yeah, and we don't want to be rude to the Legion cast. They were just...
Yeah, of course. It had nothing to do with them.
So yeah, I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 strikes, you're out. That's how I roll. 3 strikes and you're out. So...
I just keep on thinking back to that first Captain America movie I ever saw. It's crap.
The old...
you guys...
The old TV one?
No, they made a movie, an old Captain America movie. Red Skull and everything.
Oh, he's Italian, right? He wasn't even German?
Maybe. I can't remember. I just remember seeing it and thinking it was crap, even when I was a kid. Because I saw it when I was younger, so I was like, oh, what is this?
Yeah, no, I remember he wore a helmet, he didn't have a mask, and... Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But other than that, I mean, we did another year, we survived. I didn't fall.
Yeah, we had no injuries this year. Yeah, and we already got our rooms booked for next year. The guy I rented from, he emailed me this morning and was like, hey, these are the dates, right? And I said, yeah. And he's like, cool, you're booked. So we're gonna be in the same spot already. So that's a big problem solved. Now we just gotta wait for the tickets, I think in February, which again, that's not a big deal since we get them through the professional batters and stuff. So pretty much we're gearing up for next year.
Humble brag, by the way.
Now we just got to figure out. We got to get a fund together to get the Brian down here.
Yeah, we'll start a GoFundMe type of thing.
Yeah, a GoFundMe Hall H professional line stander.
That's what I had said, right? When we were in line, I said, next year we need to go ahead and hire a professional sitter. And I said, if we can't get Brian, we'll just go to the Home Depot and get Jorge or Pepe. So it's not cutting because he'll be switching out with us. So right? So it has nothing to do with that. So
that was our 2017 Comic-Con adventure.
Yeah. So hopefully we all survive for another year, and we can all do it again next year.
Anything else you want to know about, Brian? While we're still here?
No, not Comic-Con related. I was just wondering if you guys are planning to watch Valerian.
No. No.
Just flopped or what? Or...
Yeah, the reviews came in on it, and they said it was a great, beautiful movie. It looks fantastic.
It's really good.
Yeah, so it might be one of the best looking movies you ever see, but it's also really bad. I was hoping it would be good. I like the director. He did Fifth Element and The Professional.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, cool. And then they said that the story was boring and the lead actors don't have any chemistry, and it's just not a good movie. So I was like, well, okay, well, never mind. I did go see Dunkirk, though. That was really good. If you guys have a chance, go check out Dunkirk. What's up?
Yeah, watch it this weekend when I get back.
Yeah,
I didn't time to do it last week.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a war movie, but it's different. You've never seen a war movie like this. The script was probably like 5 pages. There's like no dialogue, and it jumps right into it. It's just like boom, war. Like no setup, no hero character. Let's get to know them. It's just like bam, we're in a war, and this is it.
Well, you get that from Private Ryan. Where the opening scene is just like the beginning of D-Day.
Oh, yeah, but I meant like after that, you get to know Tom Hanks' character, and you get a story. And this one, it's not. Yeah. It's just war. That's it. These guys are stuck in France, and they gotta get out. That's it. That's the movie. No dialogue. Like I said, no dialogue. Like, seriously, there's no dialogue in this movie.
And it'll be different, right? Because this is not the American side. This is what, the English side or something?
Yeah, British and French.
Yeah, so that'll be a little different too.
Yeah, so it's super cool.
Matthew says he can't wait to do the review on it.
Yeah, I'll have to do one because it's. It's great. I mean, Christopher Nolan. You know that anything that dude does, he does it his way, and it's always great. So I want to see how he did a war movie, and man, he knocked it out of the park. And it's already an Oscar favorite and all that stuff. It looks great, the cinematography and the musical score and everything. So, Brian, you won't be disappointed when you go see it.
Yeah, my brother watched it, and he said, so, like, he didn't give me any spoilers or anything, but he said that it's based on, like, 3 stories that are going at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's you get 3 perspectives. It's right. Basically land, sea, and air.
Yeah, and then he mentioned, like, I don't know if you caught it or not, but, like, the whole movie, I think, like, there's, like, a clock ticking sound throughout the entire movie. It's kind of like a race against time kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you heard it too? Like, I guess it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's part of the score.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's not an actual clock ticking, but you get that feeling, right? The way it's going. You're like, oh man, hurry up, But yeah, it's great. It's a great movie. So I think what happened was that one just crushed Valerian over the weekend.
I looked at the other movies that crushed it, and they were all good movies. They just got put into a bad week. Yeah, like I haven't seen it yet, but I hear Planet of the Apes is really good. Yeah, I heard that too. So yeah, Planet of the Apes, Spider-Man, and freaking Dunkirk just came out. It is the wrong time to do it. So unless there's anything else, I think that's it for us today. Stay tuned for our next podcast. Not sure what the next one will be, but we'll think of some up. We're gonna go and still try to recover from Comic-Con. I'm gonna need a couple more days. Maybe Saturday I'll feel better. All right, guys. This was really scheduled to be yesterday, right? Yeah. I was exhausted yesterday. There's no way I could do it. Do a podcast yesterday, and I think Brian might have been. Were you traveling yesterday, Brian, or the day before? The day before on Sunday. It's actually like early Monday morning. So yeah, been traveling for. Yeah, it was like 2 days ago. Yeah. So stay tuned for our next one. We have to talk about Game of Thrones episode 2. Did you see that, Brian, or no? I haven't, but I looked on Facebook enough to know what the big thing was about. All right. So maybe that might be our next one. We'll get to episode 2. Okay. Yeah. But, that's it for us. So we're out. Later.